let's wait for a second. And okay. So we use English for the presentation. If there's some of you is don't understand Cantonese, I know. Okay. I just have an introduction to us. And first of all, I am Cyrus Wong, and I'm the first Asian hero of Hong Kong, and also the first machine learning hero of Hong Kong. And actually, I'm working in a technical institution so-called Hong Kong IIT, and then I'm the senior lecturer. Karl is my student, and he's major in cloud computing. First of all, that is about me, and this is in Chinese, but just a very straightforward. My background is so straightforward. I am the Asian hero, also Microsoft MVP, and also Google Direct expert, and the only person in the round on field those honor. And I'm actually teaching cloud computing for many years. Should be 10 years. I use AWS for many years. And just for my YouTube channel, if you want to learn some AI or cloud technology, that's in Cantonese. And I give a brief introduction for my job. Many people have no idea what I'm working on. I'm working on in an institution so-called Hong Kong Institution of Information Technology. But for simple explanation that in the past we are so-called IB, okay? But now we are restructured under the Hong Kong policy address. We have the new fund and so-called we form a new school only focus on information technology, so-called Hong Kong IIT. This is so simple explanation. IB is old. And I teach a lot of AWS actually for my student here, and also graduate here. We basically cover all AWS certification in 2 years courses. This is what I teach. And he is ground, and he's so young, 20 in late 20, and he's the AWS certified engineer, okay? And he can code, he also has CCNA. And now let's give the time to you.
Well, thank you everyone for being here today. So first I wanted to introduce. So first I want to talk about the modern cloud applications. Nowadays we build services on top of other AWS services. For example, we will be using AWS API Gateway connecting to AWS Lambda, to SQS, AWS, EC2 instance, and more. So modern applications consist of a lot of bits. A lot of the times you would have the same architecture over and over and over. For example, a Lambda function going to SQS, SQS going back to Lambda functions, and Lambda function is going to SQS. So it's a very repeated pattern of infrastructures. Well, when it comes to provisioning everything, you can either use the console, but it comes with a lot of problems in and of itself. First of all, it's time consuming. You have to wait for every service to be provisioned before you can do the next task. And also human errors. You can easily click the wrong button and create the wrong thing. You can accidentally create the resources in a different region. And everything just dies great. And also you need a lot of manual work, and it's not repeatable, so that you can reconstruct an entire infrastructure on another account or on another region, just like that. Well, you can, but it's gonna be heavy. Well, you can write a script to provision everything, but it also comes with its own problem. What happens if one of those API call fails? So for example, when you're creating an EC2 instance, what if some parameter is wrong and something happened, then you can't create resources and everything falls apart. In addition, when you provision resources, you can't have the same script to delete it. So we would end up with two scripts, one to create it and one to delete it. But it also comes with a problem is that not every time when you create resources, you can use a delete script won't actually delete all of the resources. Maybe some of them takes a long amount of time or deletion period to be removed. So somewhere down the AWS history, they created what's called a cloud formation, basically infrastructure as code. You, instead of provisioning everything one by one, you write a series of code to define your infrastructure and cloud formation, provision it. So it comes with a good things about it. First of all, it's easy to automate because you just write one file and it creates everything. And also, it is also reproducible. So when you create the resources in one region, you can easily deploy it on another region or another account, because as long as you have the same file or the same script, you can create the same thing on a different path, not on a different region or account. But it also comes with some problem in the DevOps itself, is that the configuration syntax is very long. If you ever dealt with a cloud formation template YAML before, you would know that sometimes it can go up to thousands of lines of code, and it's horrible to even read it sometimes. And also, it lacks a lot of details. For example, just one of the examples is that you have an SSS topic and you want to create SSS subscriptions. Well, you would want that topic to be subscribed to multiple emails. Well, how can you do that? You can create a variable called a list. Well, you can't really do it in YAML, but you can do it using programming. Is that you can create a list and you fill a bunch of those emails and you repeatedly have the same block to that email to subscribe to that topic. But you can't do it in CloudFormation, so it's really not that great. So yeah, you can think of CloudFormation templates as like an HTML. It might not make sense right now, but it will make sense later. So as you can see here, we have a table and 2 images as an HTML. And as you can see over there, that's the result. And here it's the same when it comes to CloudFormation. You would have defined like this is basically the HTML code, and this is your final result. This is code here. You create a public subnet, 2 public subnets actually, a VPC here, and you can see at the result we have a VPC and 2 public subnets. It's basically the same as HTML, but instead right now you have CloudFormation as the sort of the browser part, where they convert what you have as plain text to your actual resources. So, CDK, why? Well, with what I've just pointed out, the bad things about writing YAML files, we have CDK to help us actually write those YAML files. Instead of manually defining each individual resources, you would write code to do it. So, for example, what I've just mentioned in it, so as the example I mentioned before, as a topic with a bunch of email subscriptions, you can now define a list of emails and actually have CDK just loop through those emails and subscribe as topics. So in addition, CDK is not really a CloudFormation template thing. It's really just compiles to CloudFormation, and the CloudFormation takes it and creates those resources. So
explain it easier. Even good explain. It's so simple. As you know, you writing HTML it's so simple, right? But if you want to come very different coding scenarios, for example, a lot of content, you will prefer to use a high-level language to compile into HTML. This is quite making sense for if you are a developer. It's a similar idea. Actually, for CloudFormation engine, you just need to frame it about it's something like a browser. You just describe your infrastructure in a template, extending the same idea of HTML. And then it will help you to create the cloud resources as the desired value. What is desired value is that you just want to have something, say about I have a VPC, I have a network, I have EC2, or another. You give me everything, although I don't care about the transition thing, how it happened, but I just want to have the final thing. I have network, I have PC, I have EC2, everything. This is the idea of infrastructure as code, okay? But this kind of thinking is not really very hard. For example, if you're just writing a JSON YAML, if you are a developer, you will think about, well, this kind of programming language, just like HTML, is not easy for you to build a very large system. You want to have a large, high-level language to compile into a lower-level language. This is the core idea of Karl CDK. Okay, compile into CloudFormation, and the design state is the core concept of the infrastructure as code. We just want to have the final state description. We don't care about how it's rendered. And when you do the development, very important, you want to make sure your program and then your infrastructure also under the version control. Impair source code including infrastructure. So you need to have the infrastructure as code. And very nice is that under the design of CDK, you have a OOP concept, and then you explain about the construct. Okay, in short, CDK you can use your very familiar programming language to build your code without getting anything in the console. No more mouse, no more command line. And it is very nice for you. You can have very important OOP, inheritance. I will show you how you inherit a credit card. And in general, you can use different kind of programming language as for CDK. That is a multiple language support. But my recommendation, I try everything. Since I am the user of using CDK when it is beta, okay, many years. I tried Python, I tried C#, I tried Java. But at the end, if you want to use the full function of your CDK, don't try other, just use TypeScript. They just try to use a compiler, so-called JII, to compile the language into multiple language. But it is very, very difficult for you to trace the document and then the compiler code if you want to use Python to write CDK. So it's not learn TypeScript. The core framework is of C components that you have a core framework, you have a construct library, and some command line tools. But I will not explain too much about the command line. And here's the new source code. You see the template of YAML or JSON. But you want to create two subnet inside VPC. You just very simple. You use TypeScript. You just inherit from the stack and then just build on it. It is a natural way for a programmer to create an infrastructure. In fact, you can have a lot of OP construct. For example, very important is inheritance. Okay, it will save you a lot of time to reuse your infrastructure. For myself, I create a library and then upload to NPM. And then I install it into different projects. I got all of my infrastructure at once. And also, very, very easy. If you have tried the Terraform, try the CloudFormation. I just tell you that you write a flow for me. It's very, very difficult. There's no way for you to have a flow in your campaign. So, but UCDK is very, very simple. You just use a natural way to write a flow. You can loop 100 server and then it will create 100 server for you. It's still a CloudFormation. Is it good or bad? Some people say CloudFormation is some not perfect, but if you stick to the CloudFormation service, CloudFormation is well supported in AWS, so everything can do in CloudFormation also can do it in CDK, and more powerful. Okay, the workflow is different now. In the past, you might take the YAML and then put into the CloudFormation engine. But logically, it is something like HTML and browser. This is HTML, this browser. But For HTML, for web page, render the screens, for example, a table, an image, a heading, something like that. But for the cloud, we are just render the cloud resources for you. For example, network, IP, EC2, firewall, everything you can create in cloud formation. But more powerful is that when you use a CDK, you just high level, you will combine multiple YAML at the end, you can do it. And then you can apply the campaign to the cloud formation engine again and then create your resources. It's a minor difference. And now I would like to explain some core concept today. It's important. Since you for beginner, I use many times for a lot of projects on CDK. If you don't understand the basic concept, when you hit the problem, you have no idea how to debug. That's the reason why I want to introduce the core concept first. And then other people will introduce the use case. I will don't put a lot of time on use case. Okay, first of all, I would like to introduce the core idea is environment, and then parameter, and then blah blah blah. Environment is so straightforward. This is one of my projects. Is a few years ago. It's so-called globalize your Amazon recognition. It's something AI service to all the other regions in the world at once. Okay? Well, you think about this. It is very, very complicated. If you want to deploy turnkey region for your infrastructure, if you don't use cloud formation, this type of infrastructure, actually you take it, and then you can turn it on. Update 30 times. But now, if I'm using infrastructure as code, for cloud formation still is a bit complicated. You need to use stack set, but it's not easy. But you see, it is so simple. Here's my source code, just a map, just be a short version for you. I map into two regions here. Then my infrastructure duplicate into two regions. I change this array into turnkey region. I immediately got turnkey version of customizable recognition in all the world. It's very, very fast and simple for you to create global infrastructure at once. This is the first concept, environment. Environment contains two parameters. One is the account ID, and the second one is region, account and region. So, for a cloud formation project, you can have multiple accounts, multiple regions, and then embed into a single code base. Second one, parameter is so easy to understand. Since you need to have some parameter to update your infrastructure. For example, you want to embed a domain name, you need to set it. You don't want to have a random domain name. And then resources is so easy to understand as if you is a cloud developer. Everything is resources. Easy to VPC, IP, whatever you take in the AWS account and then you create something. This is the resources. Everything is resources. And then finally, token I need to explain. Idea will not talk anything here, but token I need to explain to you. Okay, let me explain the idea of token. And before you understand the meaning of token, you need to understand that you writing your program to read the cloud. Something is not exist when you writing the source code. For example, you ask cloud formation to create a S3 bucket for you. You don't know the actual bucket name. Logical, you don't provide it, and you don't know. When do you know the bucket name? After the deployment, you will have the bucket name. It's sort of random. Okay? So, but however, when you writing your source code, you need to have the bucket name. Okay? How can CDK handle something unknown? Okay? How can CDK handle? It actually, the logic is so-called token. So, okay, first of all, you need to understand that when you try to pin out something that is not exist yet, okay, see the life cycle, after you complete the deployment, you will have the bucket name. But before deployment, you still need to revert the bucket name. It will randomly give you a token for you. Paul is here. If you write a source code like that, it will not work. If you understand what is token, you use AWS CDK to embed AWS SDK. AWS CDK will do something. I want to use SDK to put a bucket website policy here, but it will not work. What I want is that when you run your CDK program, the bucket name is not exist yet. You need to run it after your deployment complete. That's the reason why I need to tell you, you need to understand some of the reference value is token. Token means it is not yet created at this moment. When you writing CDK code, you need to always remember something is not yet created. Okay? This token. And then another concept is very, very nice. Since one of the very important requirements for your project is that have everything. Okay? Why need to have it? If you don't have it, you don't have the ability to create a bill for your customer. Since your customer need to know every project according how much they spend, you need to have everything. Otherwise, you will not be able to generate bill. So, having is very important. Also, feature bank is so easy to understand. This is global variable, just global variable. Okay, but in under department setting, okay, global department setting. And the context is that you can put something inside context, and then throughout your count for a CDK program, you can always get some value from the context. If you is a web developer, you can immediately that context is something like section variable. Okay, section variable. You create a section, you can get the workflow throughout your program anytime for the user ID. But for cloud formation, for the CDK here, context is something like section. You can send somewhere into the context when you start the CDK program, and then you can get it everywhere. Okay, also default context and aspects is something very, very useful on top of packaging. Okay, let's explain aspect. I think some of you is a Java programmer here. If you are a Java programmer, then you know about Spring Framework. Okay, what about Spring Framework? One of the very important for using Spring Framework is about the investment of control, IOC container. If you have IOC container, you can have something like so-called aspect. Aspect is something like filter. Okay, filter is very nice for your development program. For here, if you want your CDK stack to execute something always on a backend, okay, my logic is that since under the audited requirement here, I need to enable version for all of my backend under this project. How can you handle this problem? Just write a aspect here, and then when you create stack, inject the aspect into the stack. Then every resources in your stack will become version enabled. This is very, very useful. Say for example, similarly, actually the tag thing is work on top of the aspect. If I want to have everything inside my resources, for example, I need to have an easy to have tag, network have a tag, project discount, project development, something like that. Just simple. One way, just create a stack, tag it, everything will be tagged, solve every problem. It's a very, very useful one. Okay, and then finally is about the one-time context. I just have a very, very big explanation on top of the context. You just think about it as a section variable. But if you are a web developer, you also understand that there's sometimes for example, you write Java or C#, if you don't have, there is something called HTTP context. The idea is very similar. You just, when you run the program, you can under the context, you can get some important information. For example, what is the current region? You want to run it, you want to know it, and at this moment, where am I? Also, how many AZ is here? You need to know it when it's a one-time variable. You can extract it from the context, and also you can follow its rule to set your context. The override it. If you are error, you always override variable for different environment. It's very, very similar. Since CDK is exactly something like a development environment, you can have different production, development, data, you can very easily configure multiple steps shortly. Okay, this method is useful. For example, I sometimes need to know how many AWS zones I have. Since my CDK program is multiple regions, all around, all regions, so I need this method. And also, when I want to locate for the VPC setting, machine image data, since you know if you are able to developer, you know that AMI is IP is different everywhere, but you need to locate it. It is also from the context. Okay, this one is my last. As I understand, if you are a developer, I'm not sure you have experience on other infrastructure as code technology as well. For myself, I have Petrol experiment. I have different types of Azure, Bicep, and the most painful part is that when you want to deploy infrastructure, deploy your source code, you need to have some real file you need to deploy together. For example, you create website, you need to have some HTML, have some image style sheet, or you create a static web application, React application. You need to recompile the source code and then upload the S3. This is something very manual. And in the past, the development workflow before using CDK, we have to run your cloud formation, create a bucket, and the second part is a dynamic part. I have to have another script to zip the upload zip, just as we send command to upload every day. It is very tedious and not a unit. I want something all or nothing, everything. And access is something very nice. First of all, it will be able to help you package your file into your infrastructure. For example, website deployment. You have some source code, you have a Lambda, you have some Python script. You need to package it into your infrastructure as code solution. CDK is so simple. No other solution at this moment can provide something similar. And also, another resources when you deploy the system is the Docker. It will enable you help you to build the Docker image, upload into ECS, ECR, and then deploy into your Kubernetes or ECS. Okay, everything is straightforward. Okay, how did magic happen? Let me explain to you. Where is the file go to? Where is the Docker image saved? You need to upload to where and I push. If the magic is so-called bootstrapping. Okay, CDK, when you have a new every time you have a new AWS account, you want to use CDK, you need to run a command to bootstrap your account. Bootstrap account will create something for you. First of all, it will create a bucket for you. It will always use the same bucket for your CDK account to keep your file. For example, you deploy a website, you deploy Lambda. Where is the file saved for? It's saved in this bucket. If you want to deploy a Docker solution, the image you upload into the ECR repository in the bootstrap script created ECR. And then finally, it will try to help you minimize your permission for the deployment. Okay? You don't want to have a super powerful account to control your stack. It will also create a minimum permission iron role for your deployment. This is something called bootstrap. You can customize. For myself, this is an explanation. When you write a source code here, I want to write a Lambda function, but another talk we have one here. Okay? You write a Lambda function, deploy it, very happy. You just create a test, put a folder path, done. It will zip it, and then deploy your Lambda function automatically. Nothing to do. For Docker, I just create Docker image access, and then I have a local folder. I have a Docker file inside this folder. It will help me when I type the command, do the deployment, it will build the Docker, upload to ECR, and then deploy into my Kubernetes cluster. So simple. And this is my hack, one of my projects. Can I customize the bootstrap? Yes. You can also customize your bootstrap script. For example, I'm teaching students, but my student is using an account with limited IAM permission. I just rewrite the bootstrap confirmation, and I can use this in an account without IAM permission. You can only customize your bootstrap script, but basically you need to already provide some resources, every bucket, ECR, some IAM role, and additionally, if you want to do encryption, you need to provide your KMS key setting here. Okay? Wow, this one is my luck. For AWS, when you're talking about it, everyone is talking about security. It's very, very hard for you to set up the minimum security permission for every resources you need to access. One by one, only one. Very complicated. But if you actually use a CDK, this one is so-called an interface, so-called iPreintable and groundable interface. This is very high-level OOP construct. If you want to look into the source code and hear about it, you just need to abstractly write up your I resources into some basic concept. For example, user group, role, business role, account, or organization, whatever. You can just write it in CDK. And then this source code is very nice. What happened here? That I want a Lambda function, only one Lambda function, be able to read my bucket. No more. Just one it. It will help you generate your IAM policy only for one Lambda function, one bucket. This is very, very nice. If you do it manually, you will have a very tedious calculation contract to set up a lot of records one by one. But this ground interface is very powerful. Don't only this very powerful interface. It's very useful for me. I grind it down. I need to read grind it. I need to have a custom resources. I just grind it, and then we can set up anything about IAM permission here. But the ground permission is a very, very powerful one, and also everyone talking about minimize the permission boundary. You want to minimize, you just block everything and grind it one by one. But from programming point of view, it's very simple. Okay, also you can do something so-called implicit permission ground. What happened? This source code is also hard, but this is something a very common design pattern. You have an SQS, and then you want a SQS to subscript into a SNS topic. It means someone send a message to a topic, and then the queue will keep it. Okay? If you are a AWS developer, you know that everything in AWS that you want to put a message in a topic, so-called SNS, put into SQS. Okay, you want to start a job, you need to set permission. You don't forget it. You every time you work from, what happened? I got a message, but the queue is empty. You need to debug. Okay? But if you use a CDK, you just do something like that. It will help you convert the permission immediately, just minimize. It is something very, very nice when you're writing the source code in the best practices. Different of the other speaker will explain the workflow when you're writing a CDK code with such a workflow in Kubernetes. And you need to bootstrap, you need to watch, you need to destroy, something like that. I will skip here. And okay, let me explain something so-called construct. Construction is something very nice, and this is attraction. You encapsulate your infrastructure into a class, and then you composite different classes and then generate your infrastructure. This is the idea of object-oriented programming. You just reuse everything, inheritance, composite it. And wow, a lot of construction library in the internet. You just need to download it, import into the project. You got everything. But I want to introduce the idea of level of construction. Since you have different levels. First of all, the lowest one is level 1. Level 1 is something just a generator from cloud formation. This is run-up cloud formation. We run engineer to generate all the YAML tag into TypeScript, into a quality for you. It's still okay. This is something similar to CDK tetraform. If you do other cloud render, you need to use CDK tetraform, but this is only have the layer 1. Layer 1 is just a wrapper of cloud formation. But why AWS CDK is powerful is because there is layer 2 construct. Okay, layer 2 construct becomes a wrapper, and then you just do something. For example, you have BBC here, you create everything for you. You have 2 subnet, 2 AZ, you have anything gateway, everything well configured for you. Run it up. You don't know the cloud formation code. This is layer 2. But even more crazy is the layer 3 construct. But now this layer 2, you just create a bucket, check out the lambda, and then put the record in the DynamoDB. You just need to write this kind of source code. But however, I just told you that there is some implicit permission set up. But why I need to have a bucket with here, DynamoDB right there here? It's because that you have the source code in your Python to touch the bucket, upload in the bucket, with bucket, or write something in DynamoDB. In your Python, CDK don't know. Okay, CDK don't know what your source code is doing. So if you want to do something in your source code, but you don't mention it, will not be able to automatically give your permission. That's the reason why. Okay, last one, let me do this. Wow, if I want to have an ECS customer, and then have a load balancer, and then have a service for my web application, you just need to have 4 lines source code. You get the best practices AWS set up only in 4 lines source code. People learn a few years. You just 4 lines source code. Okay, near the end of my talk. And then if you want to have more construct, go to Google. This construct library is very useful. You can get a lot of pre-built packages according to the white paper. And you can also, for myself, I have some construct library for myself. I just repeat the architecture for different projects. I just keep it into an NBN project and then I just put it into NBN. Okay, if you want to try CDK, just for those links, as your Google is quite simple. You try the CDK workshop. It's a very, very good workshop for you to introduce, to learn the basic CDK. But if you try the CDK, you will never try anything else. Okay, this is my experience. I use this for many, many years. For day one, I loved it. The CTO of AWS, Dr. Rona, also said he loves CDK. He loves CDK jacket here. By the way, some advertisement. If you want to learn AWS, I have a very, very low cost training in the cloud. I don't think in any city, anywhere that can so low cost with AWS technical essential, but architectural intelligence in so cheap. Okay, everyone. And this is the end of my talk. Sorry, a bit overrun maybe.
我點撳一食佢先？佢點撳一食？撳一
Thank you,
食
Cyrus.
咁錄
So, I
有
think
拉嘅，點食
you
飯
guys have a very, very interesting talk. And so, since our pizza arrived early, so we don't want to listen to the talk and then start at the same time. So we will take the dinner break first. But before taking the dinner break,